Are you ready to unleash your full potential and become unstoppable in your success and leadership?
Welcome to the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast, where we provide powerful insights and strategies for coaches, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs. I'm Lianne Carter.
And I'm Carol Register, and we're certified master neurocoaches who are passionate about helping you overcome your limiting beliefs and optimize your performance.
Each week, we'll be sharing actionable tips and strategies using neuroscience, from interviews with industry experts to solo episodes, to help you lead a life of power, purpose, and possibility on your own terms.
Join our community of like-minded individuals. Hit subscribe now, and let's be unleashed and unstoppable together. Hey, unleashed and unstoppable leaders. Here we are again this week. We're always excited to be with you and help you to live your best, most valuable lives. As you know, we're all things neuroscience, the neuroscience of leadership, health, and wealth. Today, for our third anniversary celebration of Alex and I recording this show weekly for you, we are interviewing Alex and her husband, Andrew. They work together, and I just want to share with you how amazing they are. They're a powerhouse couple, I can tell you this, in both life and business. Alex Lianne Carter and Andrew Forbes. They're the co-founders of the Peak Web Agency, a website agency that's helping coaches, how exciting is that, thought leaders, and service-based business owners to turn their websites into tools that actually attract the right clients and support real business growth. Now, Alex is a neurohacking expert and leadership coach. She's also a certified neurocoach like I am, and she is actually known for helping high-achieving women break free from burnout and lead boldly using her irresistible bold leader method. She's a former director of educational technology and innovation, and she brings a unique lens to the way leaders show up, the way they communicate, and the way they scale online. Andrew is a website strategist and a designer with deep expertise in WordPress and digital strategy. And he's focused on building websites that are rooted in clarity, connection, and conversion. How cool is that? Together, they bring nearly 40 years of combined experience in leadership, in education, in tech, and in digital storytelling. Woo-hoo, there's a key point, right? Their journey started on a second date talking about websites and has evolved into a shared mission to help entrepreneurs to show up with authenticity and strategy in a crowded digital space. With master's degrees in educational technology, 2 adventurous daughters, and a love for the Rocky Mountains and chasing sunsets, they bring heart and precision to their work. And at Peak, the website agency that they have, they believe a website shouldn't just exist, it should evolve with you. How cool is that also? Like to have it evolve as you're growing and going, reflecting your values and moving your business forward. This is key, right? What's the point of a website rather than something that will move your business forward? And their approach is grounded in 4 key values: partnership, excellence, authenticity, and know-how. And it shows in the lasting relationships that they build with their clients. Please welcome Alex and Andrew, the vision and the strategy behind Peak Web Agency. Hi, guys. So
Hi,
glad to
Carol.
be doing this. This is super fun, right?
Yeah, it's
Super
fun to
fun.
bring in. Well, it's fun to be here with Andrew as well, and for us to both speak about, Peak Web Agency and what we've been up to.
Yeah, what you guys do is absolutely amazing. And, the things that you shared in your bio really help us to understand what it is that you're bringing to the table. I'd love for you to dive into why. Why are you doing this on a deeper level?
You want to start, Andrew?
Uh, sure. Yeah, like a website. Okay, some people will look at a website and they'll see that like, hey, it's a necessity. Like everyone has to have a website, and there's truth to that. People will always look you up, and you want to make sure you have a website that you own. It tells your story and all that. But like the one of the really important things is that because it's such a crowded workspace or landscape in the online world, like you really need to have something that does tell your story, and it helps solve your problems, explains how you help people and like why you do it and how you do it. And we also want to make sure that like we really want to make things that is flexible and allows you to grow with you, because things can change. Like as you evolve your business, as you learn new things and you help more people, your goals change as you grow. Like that's generally what happens. So we when we build websites, we want to make sure that it'll work now and it'll help get them to the start propelling them to the next step, but then also allows us to like continue to grow with them. So it's not like just like a like here's your website and see you later kind of thing. We want to make sure that that our services can allow them to continue to grow, and so we can continue to support them in doing so.
Yeah, I think we even looked the other day, and I think, our clients stay with us. I think one of our longest client was it 7 years,
Yeah.
something about that, right? Because that's, as Andrew said, like, I mean, the P in peak is partnerships, because we build a partnership with our clients. And so it's not just a one and done, here's your website. No, we have our peace of mind care, the peace of mind care packages that come with it to maintain that care. And it even comes with some tech time with it, so that we can continue as there's little tweaks and things that get to be done, sorry, throughout, the month, throughout time, that you have that there with you. And you also don't have to worry about all the tech piece with the website. And just like a computer, right? Like our computers go outdated after time and you update your computer. It's the same with websites, right? Because technology is always changing. And so, which is what's so great about the relationship we build with clients, is that we know you, we connect, we have check-in meetings, throughout time as well. It's not just like this distant agency in the back, but like we have real true connection with all of our clients, and we feel like we're part of their business as well. And so that's why it's important. It's not just a one and done thing. Like you're really getting to a partnership with us and knowing that we're there for the long haul to support you in your business growth and visibility and the impact that you're making with your businesses.
I really love that. I was going to ask you what evolving looks like, and you described that so clearly just now. And, you hit on a care package, like a care package that is a specific way that you help people to evolve and to stay involved in what they're doing and how their businesses are growing. What kind of impact have you seen in business growth for your clients?
Impact. Like we've seen. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of a good example.
Well, I mean, the goal and the vision of their website is to obviously help reach more people, right?
Yeah,
So when we help our clients gain more visibility, gain more clients, and knowing that we work with a lot of service businesses in addition to coaches are out there changing lives, right? One of our recent clients shared at, one of her retreats, that she's in the world of saving lives. And the fact that she now can reach way more people with her website and can get in front of more people, and knowing that more people are getting to see her and connect with her and get a chance to work with her, we're part of that process of being part of that changing life piece. And so that's why it's so huge, and part of why we started to work with a lot more coaches, not to mention that I get what it's like to be a coach, is that Andrew has always, I mean, that's just who he is as an individual. And even before really serving coaches, even the local businesses that we serve here in Calgary, they're all up to a bigger vision of an impact they're creating. And so the website and some of the other services like YouTube and Google Business are the vehicle to reach more people in order to make a greater impact and to see that influence. And so that's where, I would say in terms of that impact, how we get to play a role in that. And as part of some of the questions when we really get to know, like, what is it you stand for? Like, what's the bigger mission? What's your why? I mean, this is where the neuro coaching gets to come in. The
Yeah.
questions that I get to ask with new clients to really get to the heart of why they're building a website. Because like
Right.
Andrew said, people can come to you and say, want a website because they feel like they have to have a website because everyone's got a website.
Yeah.
But we get to go deeper because I know as a neuro coach on an emotional level, it's not just a checkbox. Like this
Yeah.
truly is a vehicle that people really get to get into your heart and into get to know you because
Yeah.
a website is a little bit more in depth than a social media post, right? Like
Right.
it goes deep into your
And it
services.
lasts, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's evergreen content. And it's like that next step when people might see you on social media, they're going to start searching and they're going to want to learn a lot more about you. And this is where, like, if people start to, binge get to know you, they're going to
Yeah.
the website. And that's really going to support with creating those conversions and to click the button to book a call with you
Yeah.
because of how they've gotten to know you through your website.
I think that's such an amazing point about the power of that presentation. And I also happen to know you guys are tech experts and Google experts. And one of the things that I saw somebody experience recently, they had a really amazing website, were selling amazing products, but got completely shut down with the changes that were made in Google. What I've seen with you guys is you're SEO and Google experts, and you're not allowing that to happen. Would you speak into that?
Yeah, like okay, Google is still like obviously is a very powerful entity, and they have a lot of amazing tools, and so I always encourage people to use it, whether it be YouTube or Google Business Profile or you can get to ads and all other opportunities or ways to enhance your presence. But yeah, you gotta want to play by the rules. You don't want to try to like trick the system because they're just way too smart now. Like
Yeah.
especially with AI, like AI is everywhere, and AI Google uses AI to also like nail down people to like who are trying to like scam the system.
Yeah.
And they can hit you pretty hard, like yeah, suspend your account or like on Facebook, like yeah, suspending your account there if you break their policies. So like yeah, like it's really important to understand what you can and cannot do, and sort of, and it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, and having experts like you makes all the difference, right? I really appreciated you guys speaking into that on the lives that you're doing on your social media. And I'd like to take a different direction with you now and talk about what it's like for you two as for your marriage relationship and your family relationship with two little ones, to work together. What does that look like? What's your day look like? How are you able to balance, family time and work time?
Well, it starts on working on different floors, and that's key because
Yeah.
each our voices can travel, and so yeah, working on different floors is important, and so you kind of have that sort of like boundary to like when you're focused on your task at hand, you can do it, and you're not get you don't get interrupted inadvertently with like sort of noise around you. So that's one. Uh, and that's really like the daytime. Like or at least I often say we're very thankful for daycare, because our kids are wonderful, and but they also take a lot of attention,
Yeah.
and so when they're home, it's almost fruitless trying to get work done because or hopeless because like they only like if you are in the middle of something, you're trying to get things down and you're not paying attention to them, they tend to just get louder and want more attention. So yeah, you got to really plan ahead, whether that looks like waking up a bit early to get a few things done before the household gets up, or finishing off a little bit like after they go to bed. that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, is that you can like set your schedule. So we really just like work around like when the girls are at school or away, and
Yeah.
to make it work.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is like working in our zones of geniuses. That's kind of what, where me coming on to join Peak was just looking at where are my strengths and then where are Andrew's strengths, and then just like really complementing each other. And no, I'm not saying like staying in the lanes. Like I think it's really clear. We're really clear on what our strengths are and just complementing each other and the communication piece. I mean, one thing that we started, which is really, really helpful, is like actually having strategic time outside of the house as well. So we go to the library, we go to the mountains, and we remove ourselves to really get into that strategy building so we can stay really, really focused on that and not get distracted by even just things around the house or just client work, right? So really moving, I mean, that's kind of like a productivity hack, right? Green energy, is it the green energy or something? Like actually
Yeah.
removing yourself and putting yourself somewhere else so that you can intentionally focus on strategy building and business strategy and planning and things like that versus like kind of in like in your home. So I think that that's been a big thing, and really streamlining processes and really looking at, again, because we're both very different personalities but also different learners,
Yeah.
to modify some of our work processes so that we again really lean into, I know Andrew's laughing because we definitely have learned and grown in that process of like, right, like Andrew doing things a certain way for a very long time, and I come in here and I just completely
Disrupt
um
things. Yeah.
basically that disrupted. But I think it's also really powerful because even clients all work very differently. And as leaders and, master leader, and all the work I've done over the last several years in leadership, learning about the different operating systems and styles,
Yeah.
but even bringing that into the mix of looking at, okay, how does this person learn best? Right? How does this person understand information? How do we get to present this proposal in a way that's really going to land with the client? And so all of these things really add into working with a variety of different clients, because we can completely style flex and adjust and switch to really
Yeah.
meet the client where they are because of that knowledge and understanding of the different personality styles. And also, as like we both have a master's in educational technology, I am a former educator and teacher, bring so much more in terms of even learners and understanding of information. Because here's the reality: we own a digital web agency. It's a lot of technology, right? And it can really go over people's heads really, really quickly. One thing I would say that's such a gift about Andrew, we literally were having a conversation this morning actually with someone, and it was like Andrew's gift is he can take tech language and make it and into something that makes sense. And myself as well, but he's got a bit more of that, that the tech background. But
Yeah.
a lot of techs, let's just be real, like they just speak the tech, they just speak the code. But we
Yeah.
have a gift that we have that creative side, especially Andrew has that creative side, that he can talk like layman's terms and help people understand and not feel so overwhelmed by a lot of the tech lingo.
And those are such powerful points you guys brought up. And from, having boundary space, from knowing what your roles and your zones of genius are, your strengths, your superpowers, and really leaning into complementing one another with those. And being able to have daycare to help you have the space to work is huge when you have little ones. And also getting away, getting out in nature, setting that intentional time for that green renewal that you mentioned, in addition to these final points that you just brought us into, are incredibly powerful about why you guys are so incredibly successful with what you do. Being able to take a tech language and put it into simple terms, that's genius right there, because, and Alex, I know you do that with, the style flexing is also huge, meeting people where they're at, right? Speaking their language, understanding what their needs and desires are. And these are things that we can all carry with us, these learning points about what you guys are doing, the application you're having for this major, major success you guys are having. I mean, your agency is blowing up. You're making new collaborations and connections. You have incredible clients. And the way that you're servicing a need that is not being met in this industry specifically for people who are in the coaching industry, as you mentioned, as well as I know you have other clients as well. What do you love to specialize in addition to coaching?
Right. Well, I would say like, one really beautiful thing about the agency is like we've helped a lot of local businesses.
Mm.
Obviously, things shifted a lot once COVID hit, but I'm noticing even with coaches, a lot of conversations that more and more people want to attract more local clients. And I would say that that is something that we do really, really well
Wow.
because that's how it's taking the things that work for our agency that has been able to grow the way it has
Yeah.
organically and now taking that and implementing. So one of my first questions, as soon as I hear anybody say, I want more local clients, I want to do more in person events or more local events, is do you have your Google business profile? Because it's as much as simple as it seems, people are still Googling. They are, right? If you pick up your phone, right? I mean, I know I go to the maps and I'm looking for something local. I'm on the maps looking, or I go onto Google and I'm looking for something. It's still going to bring you a lot of local searches. Yes, there is AI, and yes, you can go see ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is also sourcing from local
Google
information
and from the
and
internet.
Google.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? And so it literally is the first question. And I'm shocked by how many people will say no, that this is a tool that they're not using. And so
Yeah.
this is definitely something that we really help a lot of
Yeah.
businesses get going with, because especially if you want to attract more local clients and more local business and opportunities, I would say that this is a must have, and it really doesn't take a lot to set up. And of course, we have, our audits to help optimize, and there's, always the back end magic that happens. But I definitely say that's probably the number one thing. And works for coaches too, because even though might service, a vast community or internationally,
Yeah.
what a great way to also service more of your local community and have opportunities to do a lot more in-person events.
I love that you brought up specifically in this setting the Google business profile because you're exactly right. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know it was important. I was like, oh, I just do my thing and it's going to show up on the SEO and Google. And the way that you help people know how easy it is to set up, how important it is, and what a tool that it is in all areas is absolutely huge. And so, if I were to ask you, like, what is one thing that you would really want our client audience here, our coaches, our female leaders, our high achievers to know, what would that be? Especially in regard to what you're doing with Peak.
I would say like
I know it's a broad question.
yeah,
Bear with me.
you think of it in many ways. Like my first thought was is like when you look at your website, like does it tell your story? Does it not just tell your story before it tells your story? Does it
Mm.
solve the need of your ideal client?
Okay.
Because it's really important. Like it's one thing to have a website, but if it's not like authentic, it doesn't actually help people, or people don't see the value or don't see how you help if it's not clear, then
Yeah.
it's like people will just like click off. and
Mhm.
and it's just really important that like if you spend all this energy to and through various means to get people to your website, you just got to
Yeah.
really make sure that it solves their problem, or they see the problem that you can help them solve, and so they see themselves wanting to work with you, and then they'll go ideally go that hit that connect button or go to the contact page and get in touch.
Yeah, wow, that's so, really bringing home the power and the purpose of the website, what it's there for. Are you speaking your client's language and are you telling your story, which brings in that authentic piece. So I really appreciate that. And, back to you guys working together as a couple. You met, as you mentioned, talking about websites. Alex, I'd love for you to lean into the neuroscience of, you know, being able to collaborate and on a very deep scale from that neuroscience and leadership perspective.
Well, I think there, first of all, is like understand the psychology of the website as well, right? Like understanding the brain behind if someone, let's talk specifically for coaching, right? So if a coach is a coach's website, they're attracting clients that are looking for a solution, looking for a transformation. So it's
Hmm.
getting in the brain of where's the ideal client coming from and what's going on in the brain when they're interacting with the content. Now, a lot, as we know, the brain wants to keep us in safe and familiar.
Yeah.
So you're talking about transformation, you're talking about getting to somewhere you haven't been before. So there's quite an art with that comes through when you're telling the story on the website to support now the subconscious that resistance could be occurring to make the person feel very safe with interacting with the content on the page to then get them into action to take the next step to book a call, make a
Yeah.
purchase, to move forward with working with you, right? Download, commit, complete the quiz, things like that. So it's like really understanding, like getting the brain to take those micro yeses throughout the website, throughout the journey, and then just understanding what is the brain going through and going back to operating systems. It's thinking about if a controller were to interact with this page, what's going on through the mind, what's the brain looking for, if a supporter is interacting with the page, what's it going through their mind, what do we get to really drive home. Same thing with an analyzer, right? Analyzers looking for statistics, data. You've got to place things specifically on a page that's going to talk to an analyzer. Then you have the promoter as well. And this goes down the importance of really understanding who your ideal client is.
Yeah.
Because, yes, you can build a site that can speak to all four operating systems. But if you have a particular ideal client in mind that might be more one or the other, you can then design the content and the copy to really connect with your
Yeah.
ideal client on that subconscious level. So I think that's the first thing is really in that level. The second thing is in our strategy calls or get to know you calls, right? I as a master, certified neuro coach, but also a master leader, I ask the deep questions. I take potential clients places where they probably have never been before. So it's not just about a website. It's like, no, you're putting together something that's going to be a true, real representation of who you are, the transformation that you make in this world.
Yeah.
And we get to get deeper on why this is important to you, right? It's not just like it's doing the 7-layer why, right? Getting to the why will make you cry. And it helps us get real clear on what's the ROI with the website. Like, what's the true,
Yeah.
real driver behind what's the result you're looking for? And then what's really cool, there's a lot of tools that you can then put into place, like Google Analytics and things like that, that can also support in actually measuring the success of a website as well, which is really important because you have no idea how many people we talk to, and they'll tell us horror stories about their websites. They'll tell us horror stories about the agency they partner with. Like it really breaks our heart because we
Yeah.
know the passion that actually goes into building a website. It's not just a website. It truly is your business. It's you. It's your brand. And
Yeah.
it's part of it's one of the vehicles that supports and creating that transformation and that's impacting our world in a much bigger way.
It's so true. It's interesting too for me to look at what you guys are doing, all this incredible value and the unique approach that you're able to take through leadership, through neuroscience, through the simplicity of the tech in the back end, and you guys really knowing as experts how to guide somebody through this. Your pricing is absolutely amazing. In my opinion, what you provide, the value you provide, could easily be, 5 times as much. And so talk to me about that, about where you set your pricing and why you've done it in this manner.
When it comes to pricing, uh, a good question. Like there's often I don't know, I find like our prices haven't changed actually a whole lot, I guess, in the last, certainly the last few years. However, we are continue to get better at
Yeah.
creating the product faster and using all the new technology that we constantly try to like implement and like to stay on top of everything. Like we do our, or at least I do my best to like get to know the client, understand where they're at in their business, because that'll affect like kind of like finding a package or solution that's appropriate, that works within their budget, that works with and still accomplishes their goals. So it's always finding that kind of that sweet spot
Yeah.
of like, hey, what's realistic, like, but we want to help you the best we can, and let's find a solution that works for you. And then like, and if you have plans, bigger plans, like more aspirational plans, that's awesome. Like we want to capture that, we want to implement that, and we can perhaps like create a game plan to go into the future to accomplish those things. So
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's
like,
powerful. And you, Alex, you mentioned too, helping people to understand things from their operating style and also being able to make those micro decisions to get to where they need to go and talking about, that long-term commitment. So upfront price is such a fabulous value, but then you're able to keep things evolving, keep things maintained, up to date, growing with the business. Those things are also incredibly important that you were leaning into just now with what you said, Andrew, about the pricing.
yeah, I think that it's important to know, like Andrew said, we meet with every client, right, individually. We get to know their vision, what they're up to, and then we put together a game plan. All the packages are individualized. All the websites are individual. We build bespoke websites. And so it's all like we take into that account of course, our time and our expertise, right? And also working with the client. And so that's why it is really about a conversation. We don't have like, how much does it cost to get a website? It's a deeper conversation to that because it's all going to look at, the different, the amount of time, effort, energy that's going to go into it. Every different project, it requires different investment of time and energy and even like specialty designing and things like that. And so that's why it takes a one-on-one conversation to get to know the vision and then meeting the client where they're at and then creating a bigger game plan, right? Sometimes we'll get started with 1 or 2 pages and then we'll add on. We oftentimes now, we have a lot of our clients building several phase websites because who doesn't want to have the works, right? Like you
Yeah.
want the full buffet, and you've also really got to look at where am I at financially at this moment? What am I ready to invest in? And then as you grow, it supports in as well in terms of the commitment of the client with their business. The last thing that we want to do is build a website for a client and for them to come back and say, I've got to close my website down because my business didn't get there. And this is where, I
Mm.
sort of come in and can support and coach along the way to be able to make sure that this is not just a hobby. Like we're
Yeah.
actually supporting our clients and really creating their reality, right? You have no idea actually how many clients of ours have built multiple websites with us because they start with their main business and then they become an author and then they start another business. And it's so neat to be part of the evolving growth of many of our clients as we see them evolve into different areas. And, whether it's a hobby, whether it becomes, a side project, or whether it becomes, something that they like a passion project and things like that. So it's so amazing to be part of that and just have the ability to support our clients with that growth.
I
yeah, because
love
like
that. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
because like in the end of the day, we provide these like peace of mind maintenance plans so that like the goal is ultimately so that our clients can stay into their like zone of geniuses, so that we can like help take care of all like the tech behind the scenes stuff that they might be able to figure out and patch together something, but that takes a lot of energy and a lot of to be able to figure some of those things out if you're not comfortable with it or if it doesn't come natural. So our goal with those packages is to like, yeah, just make them focus on what they're really good at and excited about, and not just like stuff that they know they have to get like have a website hosted and managed and keep it up to date and fast, but like to figure those things out. We're happy to sort of help tackle that for you so that you can focus on
That's
on what they're
huge.
doing. So
Yeah, that you actually what you guys are talking about is sparked two more questions that may be relevant for the audience today, and that is one, do you have a recommended set of tabs? And two, or do you do just landing pages? Do you do one-page brochures? Do you do funnels or anything like that? Or are you strictly website focused?
no, we started on like one page websites. Like if a company or coach is like just starting out, they have minimum financial flexibility, then like starting with a landing page or one page website can be a perfect solution to get started. So we service clients as with a small a project like a one page website, and then with the goal to like grow with them and develop it further. Then again, if they already have created a website, they patch together something, or they had a website created and it's been a few years and they're ready to like redesign it or enhance it. We work with a lot of clients where we do like redesigns as well.
Yeah, we kind of have these different we've called them like different personas. So we have like our base camper. So that's if you're just getting started. So you're going to start with, your basic landing page, a way to, collect emails, get an appointment booked, get you started with your Google business because we know how important that is. And then of course, like if you're a little more established, then you're looking at having perhaps, some additional pages. If you're now into speaking, you want to have your speaker page. If you're an author, maybe you want to be promoting your book or your podcast, or,
Mhm.
and that's it. Like, as we said, it really evolves. So because of myself, I've, as a background, also business coaching and strategy, I also have worked with a lot of coaches get their businesses up and running. So,
Yeah.
I know, having worked with so many different entrepreneurs at so many different stages of their business, depending on where you come in is depending on where you're going to be at in terms of, our different persona and packages. Now, for service-based businesses, it's a little bit different because now you're building a website for your service, right? And so you're looking at, I'm just thinking about, I mean, one of our I know I love this hairdresser, or not, it's not a hairdresser, it's a barber shop here in Calgary. This is their website, I just love it. And it's not super complicated. It's very it's fairly simple, but it literally is, what does a barber shop need to do? They need to be able to let people know why they're, unique and different, and they need to have a way for people to book an appointment with you, right? And so setting all that up, and obviously some automations with that. But I mean, it was something so simple can be so beautiful. And I mean, it's amazing how all of a sudden, like, they just got a slew of clients booking with them because, they started with sort of the base camp package, right? And yes, we do have these different sort of persona packages, and they're all customizable to meet people where they're at. Because depending on, like Andrew said, if someone already has a website, they probably have a lot of content, right, that they want to bring over. If you're getting started, sometimes the content is one of the things that takes most of the time. So that's why there's different phases. Because I mean, if you want a website, usually you want it up, fairly quickly, right? So the more pages you have, the longer it can take. So that's why let's start just with the basic landing page if that's where you're at, and then slowly add on to it. And so that's what's so beautiful is it's all customizable to meet people where they're at with their budget, where they're at with their vision, and what's the most important thing for them at that moment in their business.
I love it. I love the creativity that's involved in this, even though it's so highly techy and you guys are doing the coding, but the personas really speaks to me, and the storytelling that you talked about earlier, and, being able to customize it with packages in a specific way where you know exactly what you're getting. You can start out really simply and you can build on based on what you're doing, and even have multiple websites if that's what you need. Maybe you need one to really act in a specific way to promote a book, or to be able to stream your podcast, or to be able to highlight your speaking career, or whatever it may be. And I know you do service-based, very specializing with the coaches, But you also, I know, do product-based websites too, and those look different and they need different tabs, different pages that are added on. You guys are amazing. You're absolute geniuses. I love your work. It's beautiful, it's clear, it's inviting. Like when I see your website pages and I look at, what you guys have done, it just gets exciting in my heart. I hold you guys so high. I'm so incredibly grateful for your genius. And please tell us what we can do to be unleashed and unstoppable using Peak website. Peak
Well,
Website Agency.
Peak Web Agency. I know we
Peak Web
are
Agency.
as we're
You guys
recording.
tweaked your name, and so I'm still
Well, yeah,
thinking Peak Ed
I know.
Design.
As when we're recording this episode, we are going through a rebrand. So we were previously Peak
Peak Ed
Designs,
Design.
and we're
Yeah.
now Peak Web Agency. So it's a little bit more clear with SEO, right? That we're a website agency.
Yeah.
One of the tools that we started using recently, and this is where if you've got out there listening, you've got a website, grab our website audit. Because here's the thing, it's like you don't know what's going on underneath the hood of your car unless you go to a mechanic and they lift it up and they let you know what's going on, right? You don't know your brakes are about to fail until they probably fail you, or you go and get your car checked and they tell you, hey, you might want to think about replacing your brake pads, right? It's the same thing with a website. There's so much, and I can say this having joined the agency and like working a lot more behind the scenes now. There's so much about a website that you just don't know. It's really easy to like go sign up for some agency,
Yeah.
or like go hire people from Fiverr. We literally were on a call this morning with someone that did that and had to let them go because it was like it wasn't working,
Yeah.
right? There's so much involved, and I think it's really easy to fall to the easiest way to go about doing this. But that's why our websites for our clients work and attract clients and increase the revenue of the business, because of the back end and a lot of the things that we don't know about when it comes to some more of the technical things like SEO, right? Search optimization, like visibility, like optimization, like loading of pages,
Yeah.
mobile friendly, like
Yeah.
so many little
Thanks.
things that we
Yeah.
just don't
I
really
can
think
think of it
about, right?
as a coach, immediately when you're saying this, what comes to mind is the involvement of what I'm offering to people. So having a program page that shares maybe when as I'm starting out in that one page brochure, book a call with me. I can serve you. But maybe as a coach, you've been growing, working with people one-on-one for years now, you've got a group program. It looks like this. Maybe you have a value ladder and you've built out a series of offers for clients, and you need to tweak that page and keep it up to date with your growth, your business growth. I mean, and a lot of times what I have experienced is working with somebody in web design. Oh, it's kind of set and I'm done. And,
Mm.
or this is a whole new package rather than an ongoing ability to tweak and maintain and go back in, which is completely necessary as your business is growing. Maybe you want to feature another business that you have. These are all the things that are running through my mind that I think are so valuable and beneficial for the clients that you're serving and for the people that are coming to you now and saying, hey, I need a website. I highly, highly recommend you guys. And I also would love for you to share anything you'd like to leave as final words, where we can get in touch with you. And I'm so excited to be in partnership with you.
Good.
Good.
You're good at final thoughts.
I'm good at final thoughts. I know, that's why I want to give you the opportunity. um, you know what? One truly, I think, amazing thing about a website, and Carol's going to tie into identity, because we talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
is, when because we see this a lot, right? coaches, business owners, they'll like put up a website because they need to
Yeah.
do it. And then they come back and realize, oh my goodness, I've really changed. Like this is no longer a reflection of me.
Yeah.
And
Maybe I
what
want
happens?
to be a real estate investor now,
Yeah, yeah, right.
whatever
And
it might
so
be. Yeah.
so then there's a time that comes, it's like, okay, I'm ready to like actually like make the investment. I'm ready to like up level with my site. And it becomes this like beautiful deep dive in your journey and really getting intimate with who you are. Because as we said earlier, like when we build a website for you, it's about telling your story. And it's a beautiful opportunity to really deep dive. And there's a time in that's involved as well. So it's like you want to be ready, not just like, I want this done, but you want to be ready to really do a deep dive in your identity and how you're showing up and the impact that you're making, and really be ready for that, because there is a little bit of a commitment involved. As much as we can on our side, it's
Yeah.
still your site, right? And so we want to make sure that is a real true representation of yourself, and being able to highlight and showcase the best version of you. We spoke the other day on our live actually about how it's so easy when we go and build a website for the first time or do a rebrand, that the first thing you want to do is your photo shoot and you want to look at the colors and all of these things. But the reality is, the first thing you get to do is really look at who you are, the impact that you're making, like, again, the why behind wanting to do this. And from there, you can pick and design and create those emotionally connected images that are going to supplement and amplify really the content that's there, versus start that way. And I think that's what we see a lot. So it's just, like, it's fun. It's exciting to really dive in. I know our clients love it when they realize, wow, like this is who I am. This is my journey. And this is what I get to do. And it's just wanting to be ready for it, ready for that journey. Because it is a journey. It's not just a one and done. It's a journey, and it evolves with you as you grow, and as a person, as a coach, as a business owner. And it's fun to embark on that journey with you.
Yeah, I was just to say, like, at the end of the day, though, like when we build websites, we don't want to build a website just to satisfy a checkbox. We want to build a website that you're proud of, that you like want to show people. Even though the website is ultimately for the client to want to attract them, we want to make sure that it's something, yeah, you're proud of, that you show off, and that you're glad you made the investment, that it tells your story of how you can help people. So.
Oh, I love that. And you guys laying that foundation, right? Of really knowing who you are and your why to build makes your website so much more powerful. You guys, you leave something in the mind. I remember one website that you had built for yourself, Alex, the image was so striking that it immediately comes to mind. And I associate you with that incredibly powerful, feminine, sexy image, but in a very tasteful, striking way. And it's from that foundation that you guys are talking about that you're able to leave that kind of impression on people. And I'm so glad you were here. I'm so glad we did this interview. And I want to know, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Best way is through our website. Um, it's currently peakdesigns.com, and it's going to be changed to peakwebagency.com. So
Okay.
depending on when you hear this, yeah, check out our website. Or if you're in Calgary, yeah, look up Peak. Well, whatever the name of the company is at the time. So Peak Web Agency will be what shows up. So.
Okay. And do you have any socials that you want to point people to?
LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably the best way to meet both Andrew and myself.
Okay. Awesome.
But
Awesome.
we'll have all the links in the show notes.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you deeply for bringing all this insight and value of what you're doing in the world, the impact you're making, the way you're serving people, and just making this a greater world for all of us. So, ciao for now, everybody. We'll see you next week, and Tell Andrew and Alex how much you love this. Please leave us a review and please text us with any information and definitely get in touch with them. Okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Unleashed Unstoppable podcast with your hosts, Alexandra Carter and Carol Register.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review and subscribe.
That's all for this episode, Wildly Ambitious Leaders. See you next week.